Greetings, what is up, and a very warm welcome to the channel. The sun is shining and the magpie is casting. I came at you guys once again from lockdown with another live 1 versus 1 battle, featuring a spawning in the north. It is going to be Hoy's Jimmy 890 playing as the Wehrmacht pieces, and spawning in the south as the Soviet forces. It's going to be I Mean IT Band on this Lost Glider. Yeah, pretty cool stuff. I'm still kind of waiting to try and catch a Wehrmacht player go to Battle Phase 3 in the wild under the new patch, so that we can see the effect of the reduced reinforce cost and the increased capture speed for their infantry in the late game, which sounds pretty revolutionary. I want to see it. Sounds like it addresses many of the biggest, or some of the problems anyway, that the Wehrmacht faction faces in the late game. So who knows, hopefully this is going to be it. Also, of course, this is a game which involves a Soviet player, and I love Soviet players. Just checking out what commanders we got here. Yeah, we've got a decent trio down here. So let's see, been a couple of days since I uploaded a video. Let's see, what's the lockdown lowdown from Magpie? Not a lot, to be honest. Not a lot goes on in lockdown, as I'm sure many of you out there will sympathise. There's only so much you can do when you stay at home all day, every day. So, my sanity is still largely on Animal Crossing related life support, so that's nice. Although, I did pick up Total War Warhammer 2 in a sale recently on Steam, and I'm enjoying it a lot. Played it with some friends, and had a lot of fun. The armies seem to play a little bit more like my sort of experience from the tabletop, because I have a reasonable amount of experience of Warhammer, the sort of the tabletop game, and yeah, great fun. Not a bad way to have spent, what was it, like 12 or 13 pounds at all. Anyway, it looks like we've got some initial scuffles going down here. No surprises, particularly from either of these two players regarding their compositions. Grenadiers going to be taking some handy engagements, cutting down these conscripts. Maybe the conscripts are going to try and get this building. Ooh, a nice little leapfrog there. Jimmy 890 on top of his micro, as we would expect. MG42 mixed into the roster, as you would also expect for Jimmy. Looks like banned for now. Going for a techless conscript-based opening, and you know, this is all pretty standard stuff. We do see this quite a lot from Soviet players these days. Looks like map control being divided up approximately 50-50. I think the Wehrmacht force is just about getting the upper hand here. Conscripts, you know, they're good units, but by themselves, they don't always put up the best of fights. Going to displace this MG42, actually. That's nice. Catching that one off guard. No danger of a squad wipe here, of course, but always nice to push back the Axis MG. So, let's see now. What else has been going on? Oh, yeah, I've been playing some Smash Brothers, man. I picked up Mewtwo the other day for a laugh. My God, what? I mean, I'm not saying Mewtwo's like top tier or anything, but that is a character. I tend to prefer the characters that have really pronounced strengths and weaknesses, and Mewtwo fits that mold. When you are winning, he feels unbeatable. God damn, he's got access to just a crazy sort of toolkit of powerful moves, techniques, strategies, and abilities. But he's light as hell, massive, and insanely floaty, so as soon as you're in disadvantage, you really feel it. So, anyway. Yeah, been playing as Mewtwo in Smash Brothers. That has been fun. I think I'm still like a Byleth main, but Mewtwo's pretty spicy. Grenadiers getting flamed down. Now the engineers are super low. There's still some Axis guns in the hood, but he's got a pixel to give, so no danger of a squad wipe there. And he's going to fall back just fine. Let's take a look at the commanders for the Wehrmacht player here, seeing as how we've not done so far. Looks like we've got the Spearhead Doctrine. This guy has... It seems like the player base has kind of... is in the same place I am when it comes to this commander, which is that this is just a really good all-rounder. He just gives you an edge in every department that Wehrmachts care about. And because of that, he's just always a safe pick to have on your roster, and occasionally is even just a strong pick, depending on how the game goes down. So, loving the prevalence of Spearhead that we're seeing these days. I'm going to say that I was way hipster. I was using Spearhead in a constant part of my roster way before he was cool. Just because he's just an incredibly good generalist Wehrmacht commander that, like I say, gives you a significant buff to all of the things that, in my mind, Wehrmacht care about. Looks like we've also got the Mechanized Assault Doctrine. That's a really cool one. And we've got, who's this guy on the end? German Infantry Doctrine. Yeah, keep seeing this guy. Not sold. But we'll see. Maybe there's just something about him that I'm missing and and that I have not seen whilst casting. I don't know. He just this geezer doesn't seem. I'm not impressed by these abilities yet. It's not to say that they are individually all bad abilities, it's just that this particular combination of 5 abilities that the German infantry doctrine gives you, I'm just like, I'm pretty sure you can get more value from other commanders, but maybe there is a niche that he fills, maybe it's a counterpick for something else that's prevalent in the meta that I don't know about. That is totally a valid theory, so, yeah, don't know. So... You don't get Ostrobin with this guy. Yeah, no, you don't. You don't get Ostrobin. Who am I thinking of who gets Ostrobin? Oh, yeah, it's the defensive doctrine who gets Ostrobin with the Stuggy. Man, that doctrine's cool now. So, looks like we do finally have some tech. It's going to be the Support Armor Campanile that's been out for a little while here, but still no choice taken from that building. Looks like a commander will be picked at this juncture, as you can hear. It's going to be the Guard Motor Coordination Tactics here for our Soviet player. And... this is, again, I reckon this is probably the loose equivalent of the Spearhead Doctrine insofar as this is just a commander that buffs a lot of stuff that Soviets care about. Actually, you know what? No, I'm going to retract that statement. He's not a good analog for the Spearhead Doctrine. I retract that statement. But anyway, checking the tech here for the Axis player, we can see that Battle Phase 1 has completed. The Leichter Mechanized Company likewise. So I imagine we're going to see a 2-2-2 or something like that. This is usually quite a good map for a 2-2-2. Lots of line of sight blockers, enabling the German scout car to sneak away and extending its longevity as opposed to, you know, on an open map. It's also one of the larger maps that we see played these days, it feels like. So, wow, it's actually going to be a 250 half-track. Cool. Yeah, one of the larger maps that we see played these days, I feel like. And the mobility of the 222 is obviously going to be much more useful on a larger map. So, but it's going to be a 250 half-track. Interesting. Actually, wait, is this the 251 half-track? Sorry, I take it, yeah, that's the 251 half-track. Okay, so is this for flame projectors, or is he actually going to be using this as a half-track? That's the question. Rifle grenade comes through. Axis units kind of getting cut down here. MG42 starts firing in from the flank. That might help stabilize. Conscript's going to oorah to try and get around the cone, and that they will. So the MG42 has to pack up. 251 half-track going to come into the middle of this fight. Reinforcements going to be desperately coming down. These engineers bravely staying, but they're getting flamethrowered. There we go. That's the power of the 250 half-track. Momentum is what it provides in a fight. Very hard to kill grenadier squads, at least in the early stages in the mid-game, when they are reinforcing in the fight. And it's for this reason that my Wehrmacht playstyles almost always incorporate a 250 half-track, because I just find it really hard to play as Wehrmacht with brittle 4-man squads and not being able to reinforce them on the field. It's difficult for me. So, anyway, LMG-42 starting to pop up on some of these grenadiers, and the scoreline advantage, near as makes no difference, no advantage. I feel like the Wehrmacht player has had slightly better control over the resource points this game, but I could be wrong. I just feel like they've had the slightly better end of the resource sort of income differential. Guards infantry going to get mixed in the relatively elite Soviet squad here. DP LMGs have completed, so their anti-infantry DPS is good. Oh dear, they're taking this fight from a pretty horrible position. Are they even close enough for that cover to... I think, like, below a certain range, cover actually just doesn't work in this game. And that's intentional. And I think that this building is close enough to these sandbags that they won't be getting any benefit from that cover. So, yeah, the guards are going to have to reposition back here. 250 half-track has been upgraded with the Flam and Werfers. That's going to come in here and werf some Flam on these guys. And they are... gonna have to fall back there. No chance of a squad wipe, I don't think. Nah, they're gonna get out of there just fine. But this Soviet army, I'm starting to become a little bit concerned. We're coming up to the 10-minute mark now, and the complexity and diversity of this army is just not where I would have liked it. I honestly feel like... I don't know. I'm just not sure about these guards, but a T-70 should go a long way towards addressing my concerns with this roster. So here comes the Soviet light tank now. Triple cap established by the Axis player, double fuel control also established, pushing in on the western flank, and the situation becoming increasingly dire. Conscripts alone don't really have an answer for grenadiers with LMGs and an MG42 and a half-track. Like, you just aren't really going to win any fights on the map if the Wehrmacht player isn't asleep. So you need something. Yes, the T-70 is going to help. There is no pack gun yet. The pack gun's on the queue just now. But there's going to be a window of time where this T-70 can act pretty profitably, as long as it doesn't get tagged by a Faust, for a little while here, and hopefully break the Soviet player back out onto the map. So here comes the T-70. Probably wants to try and find the 250 half-track. So getting a bit lucky here. Finds it, like, straight away. So, yeah, the Axis player probably wants to get this out of here. Telemines coming down, so those were not spotted either, and there is no metal detector for the Soviet player. Oh no, that's so unlucky! Oh my god! Well, obviously, he was using the 250 half-track as bait, which is usually masterful, so he would have reversed it up to the north, and then the T-70 may have, in an attempt to pursue the valuable 250 half-track, hit the telemines whilst coming around the corner. But the T-70 shot from the main cannon at the exact time when the 250 half-track was going over the telemines, detonating the mines, when the half-track was right on top of them. So a single shot from the T-70 there, destroying not only the telemines, but the Flammenwerfer 250 half-track. Quite the swing, quite the value swing there, and a very lucky turn of events for the Soviet player. Wow. God, Jimmy 890 right now, I would not blame them for feeling some salt. T-70 right now actually having some difficulty piercing these cars with the cannon. Pack gun is going to get set up here, so it is now on IT band to try and kite with the T-70 away, and that he will. So let's see. Let's check the tech here for the Axis player. So Battle Phase 2 has now finished. We're going to see if they have any interest in taking a choice from a support armor core building, or whether they're going to plow ahead with the tech. Which, now that there are incentives for doing so, I mean, you can skip into Battle Phase 3. I just want to see what the increased cap rate and the reduced reinforce costs actually look like in-game for Wehrmacht. Like, how much value does that provide? Does it make them feel very different? Or is it largely unnoticeable? I don't know. The numbers seem high enough that I feel like it is going to make them feel quite different, but I just don't know. Grenadiers here going to overrun. Faust, yep, Faust will be coming down onto the T-70, which is now pinned against the edge of the map. Pack gun in a good position, so the T-70 is going to have to try and head south here, but I mean, that pack gun, if Jimmy 890 has any sense, will be heading west and trying to get a shot through here. Whoa, actually, he deploys it facing... That's got to be an accident. Why is he facing it this way? Okay, well, it looks like the T-70 is going to sneak away to fight another day, perhaps, here. Rifle grenade comes down. These engineers are in jeopardy. They will manage to fall back, assuming if these grenadiers can move west, there are some squad-wipeable shots that could be taken on that. There he goes. He goes down. At the very last moment, a K98 round is going to smack into the fuel tanks on that poor guy. And that will be a squad wipe there. So Jimmy 890 there. A sense of vengeance, perhaps, for his 250 half-track. This T-70 in need of help. Speaking of in need of help, our Soviet player banned here. This is a rough situation to be in. The Wehrmacht player has just had consistently the better composition and been using it to take the better fights pretty much this whole game, which I'm a little bit surprised at. I mean, if you go for a techless conscript-based opening with Soviets, your opponent, if they're Wehrmacht, is always going to have a composition advantage, like, because they're going to have machine guns, and grenadiers can just do stuff like buy LMGs. And that just means that their composition is kind of just going to be better than your conscripts. But that's not to say that you can't take fights and be profitable on the map. That's how conscript techless openings work. You can encircle your foe, you can counter the MG by getting around behind it, you can just capture more ground than your Axis opponent because their units usually have to fight together. Pack gun here going to kill the T-70. So that's why we see that kind of opening do well a lot of times. But I feel like in this game, possibly because the map is so large, I don't really know, or perhaps because there's so much cover and the Wehrmacht player can make great use of these buildings and stuff, but the conscript-based techless opener, oh my god, just getting punished so hard. We just see Russian forces getting cut to shreds. Pretty much anywhere there's a fight going on. So support armor core was built. There's a Panzer IV on the way. And, I mean, there's no Zis gun right now. There's no Zis gun coming. There needs to be a Zis gun. Or else don't you just die to this Panzer IV? Bro, have you forgotten to buy a Zis gun? IT banned. I mean, he has the manpower. When you're coming up to, I mean, we're past the 15-minute in the mark in the game here. You know your opponent has had double fuel control for quite a large swathe of the early mid game. Okay, so yeah, the Zis gun does come down onto the queue. All right, that will be just about in time. I mean, this Panzer IV is still going to be able to operate in a relatively threat-free environment for a little while here, but the Zis gun will be here in a little bit to police that. But this map is almost so big, you kind of need two Zis guns to cover the sort of width of the map, and also because one Zis gun is quite flankable on a map this wide, so the Panzer IV can even counter Zis guns. Well, here comes the Zis gun. Its work is cut out. He probably needs to just get another, or another guard squad at the very least, because with two sets of PTRSs and a Zis gun, then the Panzer legitimately has to take a little bit of care. It can't just like ride around the map doing whatever it wants. Anyway, guards here going to get pinned down. MG42 doing its stuff. Grenadiers here going to be piling in some damage in support. Meanwhile, in mid, Panzer IV is going to announce its presence. Going to be supporting some Axis infantry. And I mean, these are not meaningfully damaging units that are trying to curtail this advance. Like conscripts, engineers at these ranges with this equipment, not very threatening. And nary a German has died. There, finally, a grenadier dies. But I mean, hardly any Germans died during this whole assault. Oh my god, versus, I mean, we must have seen 10 Soviets die. This is not a profitable exchange for the Soviet player who's gonna have to give up control of the middle of the map. And I don't know, I don't really understand what the tactic is here for IT. Like, you need some Maxims. Or in order for these conscripts to convert into value, I feel like you need a Maxim or two, or you just need something. Like, these conscripts are so valueless in the face of this Axis roster now that they need a force multiplier. They need some sort of synergy that is going to enable them to do well. And conscripts can do well against this Axis army if there's an MG preventing the Axis units from moving wherever they want and pinning them down so that the conscripts can close the distance without getting shot to shreds and stuff. Or a mortar, because then you can start putting down smoke, and then you can focus fire your conscripts. If a mortar shell lands into an Axis squad, that often takes it down to two models, maybe fewer, and then you can try to secure a squad wipe by focusing with your conscripts before the Axis player can get the unit to safety. And these are the kind of force multiplier, these are the kind of diversity increasing choices, the Maxim and the mortar squad, that I think are really good. Molotov comes down into a church. Pretty sure God would frown on that one. But MG42 will be forced out, and not very much damage actually stacking up on that. Jimmy 890, fast on the micro. Panzer IV just going to be harvesting some conscript experience here. Zis gun trying to get some hits, but actually just rolling a couple of misses there, I believe. Going to creep forwards to try for another shot, and he's actually going to get one by the look of it. Has he got the scouting? Well, he doesn't have the scouting, but the guards will probably reveal the Panzer here in a second. Looks like a mechanized armor Campanier has now finished for the Soviet player, so the full tech tree now unlocked. Not enough fuel to take a choice just yet, but we can expect one in just a minute or two here, depending on what he's after. Desperately trying to grab a fuel point here. Finally, the Zis gun connecting for meaningful damage against the Panzer IV as well, but this fight is just... This all looks fine for the Axis player here. Just MG42 in an okay position here, covering the Panzer. Soviet forces getting blown apart by rifle grenades. He's going to be lucky to get that conscript squad out of there, but he does. So, I mean, definitely no game-ending damage here, but the game is slipping away from IT banned here. Jimmy 890 opening up quite the scoreline advantage, some 240 tickets or so, and there's still no real answer for the Panzer IV. I mean, as long as it's microed well, and if it gets into danger at any point, Jimmy 890 can just grab some Panzer Tac smoke off of Spearhead, so that is basically an active ability, even though he hasn't chosen his commander. And as we roll up to the 20-minute mark in this game, I mean, this just looks like a really sort of, I've got to be brutally honest here, just a really meh performance from IT Band. I mean, this is a Soviet build that is okay, but I feel like he has just not responded to his opponent's composition, tactics, or indeed the map, really. Like, I just feel like, I mean, everybody knows, right? This is Lost Glider. There are buildings everywhere. This is a machine gun map, at least for the first, like, 15, 20 minutes. Like, machine guns are great. The Maxim is a decent machine gun. I mean, most of the time when I see Soviets do well in the early stages of this game from South Spawn, it's because they get a Maxim into buildings like this or this. And, like, these are horrible weaknesses of the North Spawn, especially if you're playing one of the German forces. Because it can be really difficult if an entrenched MG gets in there. You're basically forced to get a mortar or like do something to get it out of there. You know, you need smoke or something. You can't just beat it with an MG and some grenadiers and stuff. That's most of the time how I see Soviets get a good start on this map. Airborne is another totally winning strategy that you can use, although I suppose that has been nerfed recently, but I mean, it should still be fine on this map. But just going for this sort of really middle-of-the-road kind of lukewarm Soviet stuff. I mean, this is an okay build if you're playing on like just, I don't know, Crossroads, Langreskaya, maybe even Kolodny Farm, but I feel like Lost Glider is just like, you have to adapt. Oh my god, yeah, and we're just seeing inferior Soviet units getting cut down. He feels priced into, so that's a T-34-85, I believe. And, okay, I mean, that is going to be a nice unit. There is a world in which he's able to cobble together a kill on this Panzer IV. 80 grenades are finished on the conscripts. He does have the DPS, sorry, he has the PTRSs on the guards. You know, there are tools here for putting together kills on a Panzer IV. And, of course, the T-34 will also be pretty good against all this Axis infantry, as long as he manages to avoid the pack gun, which is right now in a sort of reserve position, waiting for an armoured target to reveal itself so that it can move from this really nice central position rapidly either into the west or the east to deal with the T-34 or whatever armoured unit it is that comes out of Fog of War. So, okay, basically, I mean, he gets this one T-34, and then, I don't know. I mean, this T-34 has to do the trick, really. He's just probably not going to have long enough in this game to save up for another fuel choice and use it to change the sort of status quo, because he's just bleeding out so damn fast. So, okay, T-34 is going to rumble in. That is some aggressive rumbling, bro. Oh my god, he hasn't had a mine detector over here for ages. This is so risky. Oh, Jesus. But he just comes cruising on out. Panzer IV is going to come on in and gets the first shot. Penetrates the frontal armor. Grabs itself its first star of veterancy. It looks like the T-34-85 answering back in kind. You can see the extended damage on that gun and penetration coming in handy there. Now it's going to strafe backwards. Jesus Christ, he has no fear. He's just backing up across terrain with no infantry support. Immediately gets Fausted. He needs to rotate the T-34 so that its machine guns can track on this infantry. Not like that, though. Alright, so... Oh no, and now the pack gun has it in arc. He should get away with it. He's going to get one more hit, and then he should be able to get away with the T-34. But oh my god, that's a scary world that we're living in now. This is not the best way to use your sort of up-valued T-34. Oh no. Oh, I would just go for an attack ground round, bro. Like, you know he's out here somewhere, just fire around for the lols. It's easy for me to say with my omnipotent observer vision. But that would have made me smile. What have we got coming in here? Okay, well, I believe that's the game ender. I didn't realize that he'd... Okay, yeah, Heavy Panzer Corps is built. Alright, Heavy Panzer Corps is built. Quick, look at the cap rate. Look at the cap rate. He's capping faster because of the cap rate. Yeah, cool. And look at these infantry. Look at the reinforced cost. It's 28 now. Yeah, cool. And yeah. Alright, we got to see it. We got to see it, boys. There we go. Just before the game ended, in a way which made no difference to the outcome of the game, we got to see Heavy Panzer Corps have its effects upon these infantry. Nice. Guess I can't complain. So the T-34-85 is now repaired, and, well, substantially repaired. Just in time to meet its end, I rather imagine, against the teeth of this Tiger tank. Oh my god, this is so dispiriting. Oh god, the Tiger tank's just going to rumble on in. He cares naught for the... Yep, and it's just a case of see the Tiger tank leave the game. I mean, I feel like I've leveled the criticisms that I have against the way that the Soviet player tackled this game during the game already. So rather than sort of do a little post-mortem analysis here, I think we're okay just to skip on. Jimmy890 here putting together a fine display of Wehrmacht basics, Wehrmacht fundamentals here, dominating the early game with a nice with well supported grenadiers with an MG42 against conscripts with no diversity. That's just fine. He was able to play that quite well. Very unlucky to lose his flame half track the way he did, but picked off the T70 fairly concisely and never really lost momentum once the Panzer IV was out. Maintaining dominance over the victory points and having the lion's share of the resource differential and ending the game in a fairly conclusive way. Not much to say there. I think if you're a Soviet player, if you're playing on Lost Glider, I don't think it's acceptable to to go for a techless conscript opening in that way. Like, I don't think it's. I just can't. It just doesn't look good on that map. I'm out of ways to phrase it. So I'm just taking a look here in the live game lobby. Going to see if I can find any other games that we might want to see. So we've got one with OKW here, Animal Killer and Coast on Bio. Do I remember this map? I'm sure I've cast games on it, but the mini map is not ringing a bell right now. And then we've got Angry Dutchman and IT Band here. So that would be IT Band, who we just saw playing on Crossroads. Might have some different spice on Crossroads. But we do have FK9's Double D. Oh, but it's on Arnhem. Eesh. I haven't cast a game on Arnhem Checkpoint for some time, to be honest. I'm just deciding in real time whether I want to cast an Arnhem Checkpoint game. You know what? I think I do. I think that's going to be the best one to cast here. So, the sort of trial license for my video editing software has expired, and if anyone has any recommendations for good video editing software, actually, I'm all ears. I was using a very simple software before, just for stitching together videos, but since that has expired, what I'm going to have to do in a sort of super professional, to be honest, it's totally in keeping with how my YouTube channel and my production values are anyway, I'm just going to have to ask everyone to skip forward in the YouTube video for X amount of minutes, soon to be determined, whilst I go and make myself a cup of tea to get into this game. So we've got 3 minutes and 20 seconds from now. You guys can skip forward in the YouTube video. I'm going to go make a cup of tea, and it's just better for me than splitting this into 2 videos. It keeps the quality higher, and I don't have to worry about the software. So, indeed, I'll see you guys in 180 seconds. Alrighty. Okie dokie. Thank you very much for dealing with me on that one. Thank you very much for skipping forward 3 minutes, and welcome to this game 2 of today's Lockdown Livecast, featuring, spawning in the south, it's going to be the Wehrmacht forces of De Pope of Co. And spawning in the north, playing as the Soviet airborne pieces, it's going to be FK9's Double D. So, first thing to say is that, of course, this is the first time that I've cast Airborne Doctrine. Oh, sorry, I'm a little out of breath. Since the airdropped weapons were adjusted up in price by 15 munitions, from 45 to 60 they went. So that means that it's going to be slightly more onerous to equip all of your opening squads with SVD rifles, your opening conscripts. Now, having said that, we're used to seeing conscript heavy openings from Airborne to make use of that, but now we're seeing triple engineer into a special rifle command. So FK9 Double D here, going to be bringing a bit of spice. Ooh, sorry. I've got like an exercise station indoors, like a sort of, you know, set of like pull-up bars and that sort of stuff. So whenever I walk through my kitchen, it's like my little rule, it's part of my lockdown, sort of trying to keep myself fairly fit, I guess, is just every time I walk through the kitchen, I just like do a certain sort of a few sets of exercises on the machine, and it's great. But that's why I'm out of breath, for those of you wondering. So anyway, here comes the clown car. That one's going to be coming in here nice and early. Going to get some engineers with the flamethrower in that one. And so yeah, this is a slightly atypical opening. This is a nice take here. FK9 Double D going to be looking to play a sort of slightly left field composition. Possibly try and catch his opponent off guard. Pretty standard stuff here from De Pope. Looks like we've got an MG42, 2 squads of grenadiers so far. And I don't believe De Pope has seen anything other than... Alright, now he sees the other engineer squad. So now question marks might be being raised. Or perhaps eyebrows being raised. This is already slightly unusual. And this is going to be a penal opening. Okay. Wow, are we going to see the penal PPSHs or something? Alright, penal battalion on the way. Engineers doing their best around the map, but of course they are heavily outclassed by pretty much anything from Axis. So, doing their best, holding on in this building. Here comes the clown car coming in from a nice angle on this MG42. Gonna put down some gunfire into the side of this one. Actually, the arc is gonna return here, so now the scout car is gonna have to scurry around the side here, and it will. Got to look out for these grenadiers who will be itching to get a Faust into that one. Oh no, he's gonna back through the arc. I suppose he had to because of those grenadiers there. That's actually fine. Only feeding a bit of veterancy onto that machine gun. Anytime the machine gun is shooting at a sort of light armoured vehicle, though, that veterancy gauge starts soaring up. So you do want to try and avoid feeding too much onto the Axis MG there. 2 squads of penals coming out here, and if you listen closely, you'll notice... Oh, of course, he hasn't got to one command point yet. I was going to say, if you listen closely, you'll notice that we haven't heard any airdrop weapons coming in. That's because I am a little bit early on that one, and they cannot be called in yet. Now they can. And indeed, they are being called in. I believe. No? Did he not just click that button? What did he spend his munitions on? Did he just buy... Oh, he just bought the flamethrower. Okay, fair enough. Alright, so we're up to 2 squads of penals now. So why have we picked airborne so early? Because penals kind of come with SVDs, so... And obviously the airdrop crates gives them PPSHs. So I'm confused to some extent. Wow, actually, the flamethrower comes down on the engineers who are not in the clown car as well. Okay. I mean, Double D is a really good player, so I am not like, oh my god, he's doing stuff wrong. I'm just like, just not good enough of a caster to identify why he's making some of these decisions. MG42 set up here in a lovely position, catches 2 squads of penal under its arc. They're going to have to fall back for now. Or at least retreat out of range. I'd love to see another MG42 here from De Pope. Looks like the clown car gonna range on out. He's kind of just using this one a little bit like a Kuba wagon or something. He's just kind of moving it around, being annoying, harassing, capping points, Not a clown car as we're used to seeing, where it's being used a little bit more aggressively with the flamethrower to try and, you know, chase Axis infantry away from cover and possibly even pursue them for damage. Here comes the clown car again, going to be angling in from the back here. Flamethrower gets up into the church. Wow, he's really laying down God's wrath there from the pulpit. That's going to be a Faust connecting. These engineers going to make a dive for the flamethrower. It's going to be a race. Who's going to pick it up first? And they do get it. Now they need to just fall back. No, he's actually going to stay and trade for a bit more damage. Jeez. That's brave. Clown car gets taken down. Stealing the Axis flamethrower there is a nice pickup. So he's up to 2 squads of flamethrowers now. Loses the clown car, but they're never long for this world. Whoa, did he grab the MG42 in all this? Oh, yikes. Ugh. Oh, okay, a beautiful exchange here for Double D. Getting off to a really great start in this early game. Suddenly, a big swing in his favor here, as long as he doesn't lose this penal. As long as he doesn't lose this penal. As long as he... okay, then. We're letting a mistake creep in there, though. I mean, that was just clearly a mistake. No reason to lose that penal. Rifle grenade going to come through here. Yeah, but I mean, overall, probably still a fine exchange. I mean, he gets a flamethrower and he gets the MG42. The MG42 there is the real prize because it's just not something you should have access to when you go for Special Rifle Company and don't back tech into the support weapon Campanile. So having an MG, especially on this map with a lot of buildings to put it in, is nice. And obviously, you know, you have destroyed that MG from your opponent's roster. That is also nice. Looks like it's going to be Storm Pioneers... Panzer Grenadiers coming in. Did he lose a Grenadier squad in there as well? Oh, wow. Okay, suddenly everyone hemorrhaged a load of units there, but when the dust settles, I like Double D's position better. Pope Co is going to go ahead and pick his commander. It's going to be the Mobile Defensive Doctrine, so he will have access to the Puma if he deems it an appropriate choice. Going to also have the Counterattack Tactics, the Panzer Tac Smoke, access to Ostrapons, which... To be honest, given his present roster, Ostrapons look fine. He just needs cheap, dependable troops right now, and Ostrapan are those. And he's also got the Command Panzer if we get to that stage, and if, again, he deems it an appropriate choice. So, yep, going to be Mobile Defense Doctrine versus Airborne in this second game. Are we on Monday? Every single day is just Blur's Day. Yeah, it's Monday. Okay, cool. So it's going to be a 2-2-2, actually, here from DePopeco. Ooh. Bit risky, because we're at the sort of time in the game now where a T-70 might be coming out. So mine's going to be placed down here in a nice position. Actually, that's a really nice position. There's a good chance that 2-2-2 just falls foul of these. Pardon me. So, okay, here comes the 2-2-2. Now, where's he going to task that one with going? There are some Grenadiers moving up here. So the 2-2-2 may attempt to sort of... Okay, he sees the engineers moving. That's a tell. Because that's a really nice spot for mines. The 2-2-2 does look like it wants to try and come through here. These Grenadiers could hit the mine first. Whoa, is that... so PTRS shots coming down. Oh, I always forget. Yeah, you can upgrade the penals with PTRSs. So one set of PTRS comes down on the penals. Wow, that actually makes this 2-2-2 look a lot worse. I forgot about that. Why are we building a 2-2-2 into someone who already has 2 squads of penals and is probably just looking for an excuse to upgrade them? That seems interesting at the best. I'm also still super confused by this choice of commander because he picked it straight away and yet we've seen no abilities from this commander used so far. Is he going to parachute in a Dansak? I mean, I don't know. Why have we got this commander being picked? Help me understand. Is this a cutoff? Oh, how do I not know that about this map? Yikes, that's totes a cutoff. Wow, so he's got this cutoff with mines and an MG on Overwatch. This is nice. I feel like it's just been so long since I cast a game on this map that I've just forgotten that that's a cutoff. I'm pretty sure I did know. Alright, so the 2-2-2 here, in genuine danger of being PTRS'd down, gets out of there on a pixel. GR34 getting mixed into the roster, and I do like this choice. And I suppose the one thing that Pope Co actually has on his hands right now is time. No scoreline pressure being applied so far this game. Still has 500 tickets here, so time is a luxury right now that these Wehrmacht forces have. GR34 is going to get rid of this MG32, which has been a thorn in Pope Co's side since it got into this building. So there we go. Finally a clean answer to just get rid of that. Probably these Grenadiers might hit this mine here But that is actually probably a best case scenario. They are relatively expendable, and as long as they don't all die on it, he's going to lose his Panzer Grenadiers. Oh dear. I mean, Pokeco is in a dire situation here. When you get to the 10-minute mark and your composition looks like this, you know the game has not gone to plan as the Wehrmacht player. That's not to say that the Soviet player's composition is where we might normally expect it to be either. A lot of units have died this game, but you still have to feel like it was worse. Okay, this is why the Struppens are good. Oh my god, he gets a double LMG-42 roll on the Struppens. That's so lucky, right? That's so lucky. Holy spoons, and all of a sudden his composition goes from looking dire to looking totally acceptable against this. Mobile defense doctrine for the win. Jeez. Do they just always have LMG? I feel like they don't always have LMG 42s. I feel like it's still a chance-based thing, right? I need to check the patch notes on this. That is some sick luck, though, I think. Guys, that is a cluster. Anyway, alright, well, the 222 is repaired, and it's going to come out here. Ostrapen's going to get into cover. GR34 contributing as well. The MG42, repaired, rearmed, reinforced, gonna get into this church once again to re-enable lockdown of this point. That's pretty unlucky opening facing, so they're gonna have to move the MG. And now Axis forces can get up into this building and start engaging this MG from there. Oh no, he loses the Grenadier squad. Incendiary rounds just not taking prisoners at that more or less point-blank range. And yeah, that's pretty brutal stuff. GR34 going to be doing its stuff, but I think he's going to trade for as long as he can with the... Oh my goodness me, the MG42 on Incendiary goes up to 2 stars of veterancy. We've got a Puma on the queue now for Pokeco, so that's going to be the way he opts to tech in this game. Tank of E Battalion Command has finished. No sign of a T-70 though. And FK9DD actually stacking a lot of resources. We are stacking a lot here. That is a lot. It's the manpower that really raises my eyebrow. It's okay to be stacking fuel right now, especially if you've got a plan for that fuel, but stacking 1,000 manpower, that is seldom, if ever, effective or efficient. So, I mean, FK9DD is a good enough, high-tier enough, seasoned enough player that I have to assume that he definitely knows what he's doing. There we go. A load of manpower was just spent. Okay, so, yeah, okay. He's going straight for Mechanized Armor Campanier and, you know, has good fuel income, you know, has had double fuel for most of this game. So, by the time that's built, he's probably going to have about 130 odd fuel, and then he's probably about a minute's worth of saving away from taking whatever choice he wants from the Mechanized Armor Campanier. So, I mean, I could speculate about what unit he's going to take from there, but I feel like it's probably better if we just wait. They all sound fine. T-34 is probably fine. You've had the upper hand long enough in this game that T-34s are okay, especially if you want to snowball into them, that's fine. Su-85, yeah, you can try and play an Su-85 base style. This probably isn't the best timing for an Su-85 though, so I don't think we're going to see that. Katusha, totes acceptable. So, yep. This is, okay, yeah, it's going to be T-34s. This is fine. Does he know about the Puma, though? I'm not sure if FK9DD has seen the Puma. The Puma does make the T-34s feel a lot worse, to be honest. And hiding the Puma here is actually quite clever. I feel like if he knew that there was a Puma lurking, he might not do this. Although, you have to assume that there is at least the possibility of a Puma because you've seen the Ostrapen, right? And if you were paying attention, you know that your opponent was on mobile death as the Ostrapen choice in the roster. So, yeah. So I think he has to know that there is the possibility. Okay, now he sees the Puma. There you go. So, he sees the Puma now, but the T-34 is already out. Loaded and ready. Heavy fighting going on in the center of the map here. Axis forces making gains in the eastern flank. Soviet forces making gains on the west. Scoreline, well, looks like about 60 odd tickets in it, but not a great deal of difference as we come up to the 15-minute mark. Here comes the T-34. Oh, he's going to track onto the Ostrapen. That's a bit of a mistake. Probably wanted to put that shell into the scout car. Puma's going to come forward to police this. Faust is going to connect immediately, but the T-34 was at max health, so That's not going to break the engine right now. Puma here just stalking, looking for additional shots onto the T-34. He's probably going to be able to find them. Yeah, taking some lovely shots into the flank here. Ooh, rolls an unlucky miss. There we go. Now he's finding some value. And every single hit that finds its mark on this T-34 is worth a lot of veterancy to this Puma. You can see it vet up really fast if it keeps getting these hits. PTR's equipped penals will be an effective screen though, and the Axis light tank hunter going to have to fall back for now. T-34 actually fearlessly getting straight back into this fight. This MG42 in a really bad way needs to fall back as soon as possible, and it does. 222 going to come through for the scout, and actually finding a really nice exposed flank here. The T-34 will donk it back for now. Ooh, he gets out of there on a pixel again. That 222 has been so close to death so many times, but he's going to get away for now. And more determined fighting going on in mid. Grenadiers in a lovely position in this church. The Puma still in town, but there's a lot of Soviets in the hood here. Repairs start coming down on the T-34 in a pretty nice position. GR-34 knows about it though. Where is the GR-34? It is not in range, or maybe it's just on the edge of range. Can I actually see the range? I think he knows that this is here, right? So he can put down a barrage on these guys who are repairing. He has just used a barrage. I would say he's firing at the tank that's repairing. But he's unlucky. He just misses the window. No, he's actually using the barrage somewhere else. Okay, he just wants to get rid of the MG, and that's fair. Oh, God. The MG, though, catching the mortar under its arc. That's pretty rough. T-34 going to ram forwards here. Well, not actually ramming, but poking forwards here. To poke Co here, getting stretched. FK9 Double D asserting dominance in middle of map here. But the tide is beginning to... Whoa, come on, mouse. The tide is beginning to stem here. This MG42, wow, I thought it would have had to have fallen back by now. Up to 3 stars of veterancy, that is brutal. He gets the GR-34. But still doing fine, actually. I mean, the composition, even with the GR-34 being lost, still looks okay for De Pope. What's his tech like? No battle phase 2 yet. Okay. So mobile defensive doctrine is kind of keeping him on life support with these Offstrippen and this Puma, but can only last for so long. You're dealing with an opponent who has mechanized armor Campanile. This commander is such a confusing pick, by the way, because as far as I can tell, he still has not actually leveraged any of the options. He just chose this commander for a reason. He's just not used any of these options, so... The airborne commander, if I'm honest, is, like, confusing me a little bit. Hang on a second, what did he lose during that exchange? Did he lose a penal squad? He lost an engineer squad? I don't know. I feel like the Soviet roster definitely got smaller in that fight. So the second T-34 going to be rolling off the line here momentarily. Panzer Grenadiers getting rebought for the Axis player. There are enough munitions to put some Shreks on those guys, and that's probably going to be the thing to do, because the anti-tank resources right now consist of assorted Fausts, a Pat gun, and a Puma. I feel like with Shreks you have some real longevity in this game. Without them, you can die under the treads of T-34s. Nice rifle grenade connects with the mortar team. Not actually doing as much damage as I thought it would. The crew on that unit quite spread out. Pat gun here in a lovely position. MG42s likewise. And FK9 Double D walking into the teeth of a well-prepared Axis position here. An MG42 of his own, though, going to be flanking around here. And once that one gets set up, life is going to be quite a lot harder for the Pope. The Puma coming in here, not able to really find any meaningful damage onto the... Whoa, nice mortar hit. What? That was insane. Jeez, look how much veterancy it got off of that. I mean, jeez. I mean, I know that wasn't all from that one hit, but damn. To put that much damage on a Puma with a stray mortar shot is lovely. These Grenadiers here getting hung out to dry. They're so low. Okay, there they go. They have to fall back. That T-34, a single cannon shell away from, like, mincing that squad. And both forces, just the attrition continuing here in mid. But most importantly, finally the Soviet player has gotten a good hold on 2 of the victory points and is beginning to make meaningful progress on the victory point bar, taking the lead for the first time pretty much this game in the last few seconds. Leading by, what, 16, 17 tickets now. So that's the kind of progress that you need, because it's okay, you can be winning on the battlefield, but unless you're also winning on the scoreline, your opponent has unlimited time to try and come back. So, got to close the door on them at some point. Okay, so the Puma gets its first star of veterancy. That took a while, but now it has the aim target weak point 1, the aimed shot. 2 stars of veterancy is the most important though for Pumas. 2 and 3 stars are huge. And this Axis position getting increasingly compacted. Very little in the way of map control, very little in the way of resource control right now for the Axis player. A third T-34 going to be rolling off the production line momentarily. And I feel like FK9DD sensing blood in the water, knowing that they've had such good fuel control, knowing that they've been chipping away at the Axis unit roster so consistently that the best, and it's a real option, and I think it is indeed the best option, just to build T-34s and muscle your Axis opponent out of this game, because you've stumbled them, you've hobbled them, you've got them into a position that they'd rather not be in this game. The KO blow, the finishing, crushing blow is going to be this roster of T-34s. And what can the Axis player do against such reckless Soviet armor? Like, not a lot. I mean, this is problems. I mean, yeah, he's got a Pat gun. Yeah, he's got a Puma. These are things. But 3 is a large number of T-34s, so this is going to be super rough. Super rough indeed. And now the triple cap established, so the scoreline is now a substantial concern right now for DePope, who, to be honest, is going to be very lucky to get out from under this. This is a super intimidating position. A very well-diversified Soviet army with a lot of very good Axis hardware. The MG42 has been amazing, and the GR34 is rising up through the ranks and doing good damage over time here. And, I mean, these T-34s, still no answer. I think you just need, like, another Puma as DePope. That will help. You can counter... 2 Pumas is a lot worse than 1 for these T-34s. And if you can get... I mean, is it at 2 stars they get potency, right? Oh, no, it's rate of fire at 2 star, and then at 3 star they get potency. Yeah, okay. Alright, well, those are both super significant upgrades. So he's going to get another Pat gun. That's fine. I think I would have rathered another Puma, especially if you're... Okay, he's gone to battle phase 2. Alright, so that's why he's not going for another Puma. Okay. That is an ambitious line of play to say that you're going to go for battle... that you're going to get value out of the battle phase 2 upgrade. That is... I don't think that that's a certainty at all. But perhaps DePope thinks that they have no chance of winning if they never go for that. I still just think... I mean, this is from personal experience to a certain extent. I've won a lot of games where my opponent has medium tank superiority by accumulating, seemingly over quite a long amount of time, a number of Pumas. 2, sometimes even 3. And then my opponent, who's on sort of 3+ medium tanks, be they Shermans or T-34s, you can beat them. You can shatter those tanks with Pumas that have decent enough veterancy. 1 veteran 3 Puma or 2 or more Pumas of like veterancy like 2 or less will do the job against 3 medium tanks just fine. So the Pat gun here getting actually destroyed. Now the T-34 is opting to just pounce in here. Looks like they want the other Pat gun. Wounded T-34 getting pulled back very nicely here. So Double D clearly on top of the vehicle micro. That's the Pat gun destroyed. Looks like he probably wants to get the kill on that one as well. Penal battalions are in the hood, so a demolition charge could be all that's needed here to destroy that one. But he's just going to be able to get it. The Puma unable to offer enough anti-vehicle DPS to save the Pat gun there. And now, I mean, this is just a tough world. I mean, the Puma is doing good. It's taking shots. It's coming up for 3 stars of veterancy. But, I mean, oh, God. There's no way out of this. This game is over. He's lost all of his Grenadiers. This game is over. The Panzer Grenadiers go down. And that is going to be a crushing, as we got to 4 T-34s, a crushing win there. Doing it Soviet style here is FK9DD. And I like what I see. And, yep, there we go. DePope's going to GG. Knows that he's firmly beaten in this game. That's a nice opening. I like everything I saw out of FK9DD except the Soviet airborne pick at immediate time. Like, that just seemed... You never used this commander, right? I didn't see any of these units, techniques, strategies, abilities get used in this game. So FK9DD effectively playing commanderless. But the opening was nice. So it was like triple engineer into penals. Like, so this is the first time I've seen like a genuine penal battalion opener for some time, and it looked fine. Yeah, it looked fine. If you like conscripts with SVDs, you might also like penal battalion. So that's worth looking up. So, alright, cool. Well, you know, that was another fairly short game. I'm going to go see if there's another castable one in the lobby. So, take a sip on my drink. Let's see what we got here. OKW versus USF. Oh, can I get some UKF? There we go. Let's watch this one. Lovely. Alright, so we've got Pope, who was actually just defeated in that game, but we're going to watch this one because it's got UKF in, and they've had a lot of changes. And I'm keen to see how they fare in the sort of post-patch meta. Interested to see exactly how Tommies fare when they have access to the officer support and the British medics, and some differences to the way Lee Enfields work, and some differences to the way UKF units function in cover. Looks like we've got about a minute of downtime here, but that's no bad. Those of you who are impatient, go ahead and skip forward 50 seconds. Those of you who aren't can just sit here with me. Let me just think now. I mean, again, times like this is when it's really good to have a co-caster, because then you can talk about, like, what's your favorite pizza or, like, whatever, like, literally anything. But we don't have one, and I don't know. I mean, I would talk about, like, current affairs and stuff like that, but I really don't feel like my YouTube channel is the place to do that. I mean, I really just like casting RTS. I don't like talking about, like, stuff. And also, like, the current affairs right now just appears to be, like, mostly the President of America doing and saying really stupid things, and I don't want to bring any more attention to that man. So I've already failed in that regard by mentioning him. So I'm going to stop talking about him immediately and start talking about the fantastic game that we have prepared before us, featuring Spawning in the South, playing as the Vermac Pieces. It's going to be Topopco, who a valiant fight in that last game, but got hobbled early on, and I don't think we were really able to assess their fighting condition, because they just got really far behind really early on in that last game and did not recover against FK9DD, who's very good at the game and showed it in that last game. Spawning in the North, playing as the United Kingdom Forces. It's going to be Ulumulu. That's a pretty cool screen name. I like that. That's a lot of vowels. That is 4 U vowels in one word. That's cool. I like what they've done there. Also, that is a vague. I mean, it is not literally palindromic, but that is substantially the same if you say it backwards as forwards. Cool username, sir, or ma'am, I guess. Wow. Okay, we got an assault grenadier pick. Okay, so DePope going to be trying something a little bit different this time round. It's going to be mechanized assault doctrine, and we've got assault grenadiers moving out. Now, we've seen Vermac players do tend to favor Stug E builds a little bit more on this map, and that makes sense, right? Because the Stug E doesn't have a turret and it's not particularly fast, but if you can keep the enemy in front of it, it will consistently find value, let's put it that way. And Crossroads is quite an easy map to meet those conditions. You're not particularly worried about the Stug getting flanked unless something very bad has happened, because it's Crossroads again, it's very small. You will usually know if enemy units are getting around the sides of your Stug, and you'll be able to move it with plenty of time to spare. And I mean, the Stug has decent enough range and can take a couple of hits, so it's actually quite hard to destroy the Stug E. This is a good Stug E map. So, one squad of Assault Grenadiers, and I like not leaning in too hard to Assault Grenadiers. I am... Pardon me, sorry. I am quite skeptical about going up to, like, leaning into Assault Grenadiers too hard, like 2 or more squads of them at the very early stages of the game. I actually think that Assault Grenadiers work much better when they have regular Grenadiers and other units to support them, rather than trying to serve as a replacement for regular Grenadiers and your core infantry units generally. I think Assault Grenadiers are really good at, like, the sub 5 minutes mark, and I think that they have uses at the sub 15 minute mark, but I think that the longer the game goes on, the harder it is to get infantry with submachine guns up into your opponent's face, unless those infantry with submachine guns have some other tricks going on, like shock troopers who have smoke and body armor, and, like, you know what I mean? So Yeah, assault grenadiers are fine in the early stages of the game, but too often later on in the game I just see them flailing under the arcs of MGs, getting hit by mortars, losing too many men, so that even if they do get in, like if you're getting in with 2 SMGs, it's like, what are we even doing here? It wasn't worth it. Yeah, for example, like right here. They got in, but only with 3, then 2 SMGs, and it was just like, then they got beaten at point-blank range by Lee Enfields. And as the game gets later and later, the odds of them connecting with their opponent in a meaningful way just decrease. That seems to be how it looks to me. So yeah, just using 1 squad of these with 2 MGs and 2 Grenadier squad, and 1 Grenadier squad so far. Looks good to me. I like what I'm seeing so far from De Pope. British Enfield rifles just laying down heavy rate of fire from cover, going to be out DPSing a lot of stuff. MG42 going to get set up here just to the south. That's going to contribute here, so these Tommies can't stay here forever. And another MG42 actually going to be sort of completing the pincer here. Ouch, nasty stuff. So now these conscripts will have to GTFO like immediately, you have to believe. There we go. Yep, Ulumulu on top of it there. And medkit's starting to pop up, as you can see. Some heals going to be popping down on these units. So, in case you didn't watch my previous video, so British units can now build medics. Oh. Do you just build them out of the main building? Ah, here we go. Medics for 180. And the community balance team's reasoning for including this squad was that they are adding more utility to the pyrotechnics package on Tommies. And so they expect people to be using more pyrotechnics packages. They've also added more usability or usefulness to the specialist Tommy squads, the assault section, the tank hunter section, and so forth. And so they anticipate with people using more pyrotechnics and more specialist Tommy squads, there are going to be fewer Tommy squads with medics. Now, Tommy squads with medics is kind of the British faction is balanced around you having a few of those available, because those are supposed to be the principal way in which you heal your units. So with the idea that there's going to be fewer Tommy squads with medics out there, the medic squad was added to the British roster. Nice, by the way, getting complete rout on the UK army here. These MG42s, with appropriate support, going to be doing a number here on Ulumulu, who is going to get substantially cut off here. And that's going to be devastating, actually, losing essentially all income at this point. So, De Popeco getting off to a much better start in this game than they did in the last. Loving what I'm seeing. Ulumulu here needs to diversify this roster. I would love to see a Vickers gun. That would be fine. Or a sniper. Are we going to save for a sniper? Nope, it's going to be an AEC. Fair enough.
Our capture point. They're trying to take it.
Oh, that's cool. So they've changed the way that this works. Oh no, they haven't. Sorry, I'm just getting confused. Okay, yeah. So you still have to do the requisition research. Fair enough. I think another thing that they could do to help UKF. One thing that I've noticed from casting Company of Heroes and playing it for quite a long time, for a number of years, is that where you have teching costs, where you are literally just paying for the teching, you are just paying an amount of resources that disappear, and you are just paying for the teching. Those tend to feel really cumbersome and strongly disincentivize players for doing it. And most teching in the game actually comes with other benefits. So, for example, when you tech with the Americans, you get officers. When you tech with the Soviets, you get access to a number of units that are really good and upgrades across various units. When you tech with the Wehrmacht, you get access to tech across your units. You know, you get Panzerfausts, you get later on you get the reduced reinforce cost and increased capture speed. But paying 100 manpower and 15 fuel to literally have the ability to press just the AEC button feels cumbersome. I would rather your first AEC cost a bit more manpower and a bit more fuel, and then if you have built an AEC, it locks the Beaufort, and vice versa. Have your first Beaufort cost a little bit more, I guess that's mechanically a lot less intuitive to put together with the UI though, so they've just done it this way. I don't know. Like, part of the reason why the UKF I feel like have felt quite like bland or like just underpowered or underrepresented in the meta is because their teching has been just not as fun or as usable as some of the other factions, and part of that is just having to click on a button to unlock another button before you can build your units at this early point in the game. I don't know, I'm not really sure. This is not a very complete thought. I'm not really sure where I'm going with this. Okay, so Assault Grenadiers getting in here in a really nice way. MG42 supporting. Was that a pineapple? Oh, cool. Yeah, pineapple comes down off of these Tommies. Wow, there is a pack gun here, but smoke is used. This AEC coming in. Wow, he wanted the 222 so hard, and he gets it. And he's actually going to get out more or less for free. Yikes. Gosh, that's really good. Wow. Okay, so Ulumulu recovering in a big way here from being cut off and on the back foot. Is now taking large swathes of the map, although there are some unchecked Grenadiers making progress here in the west. But yeah, making progress out on the map here is Ulumulu. Going to be returning the favor with a little bit of cut-off play here. Nice. And it's going to be a special operations... No, sorry, commando regiment. And a glider is coming down now. Commando glider insertion. So this is the one that comes with some gliders for free, touching down relatively nicely in a decent place here. And the silent Sten-equipped Tommies, commandos are gonna, the boys from Ireland as they are actually, they're gonna get all the way up on top of this MG42, interfering with its fallback in a super irritating way. I know there's combat going on elsewhere, but I just want to focus on these commandos doing their thing for a second here. Yeah, they're gonna get the squad wipe. Oh no! You hate to see it there. That was some sick micro out of the UKF player. I think he got really unlucky. There were a lot of rolls there which he just needed one more hit to get that MG. There were a lot of tries there. There are a lot of timelines where he gets that MG, but we ain't living in one. So, oh well, at least he pushes the MG back. Adding some commandos into the roster. This is a nice, interesting looking lineup here from Ulumulu. He's got commandos in there. He's got Royal Engineers. He's got the glider. He's got the AEC. He's got Tommies. I mean, this army does a lot of things. I would love it if he had a machine gun. So the glider is probably going to get taken out here, but that's kind of fine. I don't think it actually does anything now, because you can't even make the air landing field officer or the medics out of it. And you can't use it as a forward fallback, right? I don't think so anymore. Is that right? So yeah, the glider's going to explode.
The enemy have destroyed a forward position.
And so now we find ourselves where these units in the top left are going to face off against these units in the top right. Let's just quickly check the tech for the Vermac player here. No sign of Battle Phase 2 yet, actually. That's interesting, given the amount of resources they are floating. That is a assault. Infantry squads move up quickly and have better attack. Recon planes fly over the frontline enemy territories. Okay, cool. So he's going to assault for 70 munitions. Assault grenade package here going to be used to blunt this assault substantially. His commando is getting beaten down by assault grenadiers, a rare but satisfying sight. Panzer Grenadier is going to be pushing forwards here, overrunning Tommies. And I don't know, man, this is not much of an assault. The AEC, though, does find a window to break through. Boys from Wales and Tommies here in support. MG42 going to reposition, catching all the UKF squads under arc. Very low squad of assault grenadiers here, desperately falling back. Sten guns blazing, will catch him. The boys from Wales chalking up a squad wipe. AEC probably going to have to fall back here. Are Panzer Shreks developing on these boys now? Okay, there's a timeline in which Panzer Shreks are coming up on these boys, and they finish just in time to complete a kill on an AEC, but we ain't in that timeline. Pack gun, though, going to come through, looking for some extra hits on the AEC, which is going to be forced to scurry away here. Ooh, scurry away, my friend. There we go. And I don't know, man. I mean, I like the look of the assault. Move quickly and have better assault. But it's safe to say DePope Co. there weathering that assault with flying colours. Absolutely smashed it. And it's going to be the Panzer Grenadier Assault Group in the 250 half-track. That's going to be the choice here. Not a Stug E? I'm confused. Why didn't you not go... Oh, because he needs Battle Phase 2. Right. Why don't you just go for Battle Phase 2 and get a Stug E, bro? Oh well. Gonna go for the 250 half-track. Let's see what utility DePope can get out of this. Quarter-pounder AT gun will be here momentarily, and that's going to help with Axis vehicles generally, although it's only real target right now. Not that great, this half-track. Panzer Grenadiers just gunning people down from the comfort of their little 250. Here comes the AEC to try and put a stop to that. There are mines here. Oh god, the mines! And the Pat gun in ambush as well. This AEC in some peril may have to use smoke. Ooh, the Pat gun rolling an unlucky miss there. Commandos as well, getting up on top of the Pat gun will force it to reposition. Looks like Panzer Grenadiers are here to defend. Meanwhile, in mid, looks like Panzer Grens beating Tommies. And field control substantially in Axis hands right now as the scoreline differential beginning to widen up in a worrying fashion. Triple cap right now, Ulamulu finds themselves under. Telemines! Okay, I mean, that is as close as you can get to telemines without losing your AEC. Is there a metal detector in the roster here? No. Oh, no, there is actually. Sorry, the boys from Wales do have one. Alright, Pat gun gets set up. Some attack ground rounds here will start coming through the hedge. Whoa, god damn, my mouse is just so glitchy. And it's not just the mouse, because I've changed the mouse, so like something to do with Company of Heroes 2 and me using middle mouse button just like makes the camera go crazy sometimes, which I do apologize. It's the most frustrating thing. I've tried reinstalling, I've tried changing my mouse. I just don't know what. I'm out of ideas for it. But anyway, this is the universe in which we find ourselves. Tommy's getting set up in nice positions here. Going to start the beginnings of a nice engagement. And it's another assault here. Look at the amount of recon planes that come flying over. That's so good. So, okay, UKF forces now with a movement and attack buff. Pressing the advantage in west as well. AEC going to commit here. Takes out the 250, but will be traded out in turn. Just too much damage coming down here. It finally did hit the telemines. That's what did that. And it looks like, again, this assault is going to be substantially blunted here by DePope's nifty defensive positioning. Just overlapping MGs and decent infantry with anti-tank support. Basically proving too much for this UKF assault. So, okay, Battle Phase 2 is finally done. No sign of support armor core, but we can now call in Stug Ease, and I think that that's a cool choice. Let's check the tech here. So, wow, still no company command point for the UKF player, who's actually stacking quite a lot of fuel. Should probably go ahead and buy that. There it is. Alright, so company command post will be finishing up here in just a little bit. Scoreline differential looks real bad. And is actually still, he's losing 2 tickets per tick. That is pretty terrible. I mean, this game has essentially been balanced, except for the fact that DePope has had much better victory point control. So, yeah, Ulamulu here is capping one of the VPs, but needs to do more. And I honestly, actually, I think if you're playing for VPs, what is this? Smoke raid operation. Oh, this is pretty cool. Man, the Brits get some cool, like, operation-based stuff. I like it. It's just smoke landing everywhere. Mayhem! This has enabled a pineapple to find an MG. Oh, nice. Forces the MG42 out there. Kills the veterancy on that. So the smoke raid operation providing... I mean, for 60 munitions, that seems super dope, to be honest. Hostile territory will be neutralized quickly. Yeah, so he's using that to get on top of these victory points. But as he gets onto mid, he loses west. And that basically means that this was all for naught. Now, there are some commandos coming out there. There's just infinite smoke grenades just flailing down everywhere. It's just a super crazy ability. This is so cool, man. UKF... a lot of the ideas and abilities and stuff that UKF has and does, I should say, is some of the coolest stuff in the game. They just need a little bit more tweaking. There are still problems with the way UKF works. I'm going to go ahead and say I don't like the way that the AEC/Beaufort choice works. I think the hammer and anvil choice works a lot better because you're getting a lot. You're actually getting something for those resources spent, and so it just feels better. But the AEC versus Beaufort research, not too keen on that. It just feels like it's a choice for choice's sake. It's a pretty pointless gameplay. I mean, by all means, make the players choose, but make the choice more meaningful. Don't make them just have to like click on a button and spend some resources and wait some time. It's like nothing about that feels fun. And I'm going to go ahead and say I think that the mortar pit is still a fundamental design problem. I think that this game is balanced around every team having access to, in the early stages of the game, a machine gun and a mortar squad. And historically, throughout the course of Company of Heroes 2, we have seen where factions do not have access to those things early on. They can be exploited. The game doesn't really work very well for that faction. I think smoke is an integral part of this game, and I think machine guns and suppression are an integral part of this game. And I don't think that the mortar pit is an acceptable analog to a mortar squad. It's just not very good, and that's why we never see them. Outside of cheesy builds, we never see them because they're rubbish. So get rid of the mortar pit. I appreciate they were trying to make the Brits feel a bit different, but it's rubbish. So get rid of the mortar pit and just give Brits a mortar squad. Like, honestly, give them a mortar squad. Just give them a mortar squad. I think it would be great. Anyway, MG42 here, the only thing holding this Axis advance back, as a Cromwell, a rather splendid Cromwell, going to be rumbling in as well, actually. So, okay, maybe there are two things holding this Axis advance back, a Cromwell and an MG. Pack gun here gets caught out. The hull MGs on the Cromwell were buffed in the most recent patch, so watch out for those to be doing a little bit more damage than we're used to infantry squads. Apparently they're now on par with a Panzer IV, but speaking of Panzers, we've got a big cat on the field, and that is a Tiger tank, and that is going to have significant implications for how this game is going to play out for the UKF player. What on earth is your solution here? I bet you feel pretty bad. I mean, we've just had the Cromwell enter the field with enough fuel left over to have gotten a Firefly. And now that the Tiger is here, this Cromwell's utility drops significantly, and a Firefly would have been a really nice choice. So now we're in a world where the UKF player basically has to survive until they can get a Firefly. Going to be getting another quarter pounder to help with that objective, and yeah, that's a great choice. Another quarter pounder is going to make you look substantially more healthy against stuff that can kill you, including this Tiger. But the game is still in a terrible position, and that is basically because of the scoreline. If this Tiger can leverage any victory point advantage over the next few minutes, then Ulimuli's chances in this game effectively snuff out. So, Ulimulu on super thin ice. Hero squad of Royal Engineers gets onto the victory point over here in East, and that is massive. Anything that's victory point related right now is huge for Ulimulu. So yeah, I mean, these boys from Wales ain't going to last long. This is too many angry Germans for them. But you know, they did their job. They decapped this point. They very nearly captured it, which would have been lovely as well. But they're not going to do that. Oh, no. Oh, God. Bundaroo grenade. Oh, masterful takedown. Turns out that those boys from Wales overstayed their welcome. Panzer Grenadiers are very punchy units, and you don't want to mess with them. So losing the Royal Engineers is a bitter pill to swallow because he needs them. Without them, there is no repairs for this Cromwell. So he has to actually basically is priced into buying them immediately. But you don't want to have to do that because manpower income is actually pretty low right now for UKF. And you need that manpower for reinforcing squads and ultimately saving up to replace squads, buy additional squads, diversify your roster, and of course get that Firefly, which we're getting into the world now where he needs to be thinking about having the manpower for that in about a minute. So yeah, Panzer Grenadiers overextend into the base Vickers, so that's a little awkward, but they're going to get out of there. And I think if you're Depope right now, you can chill a little bit. You can rest easy to some extent. I mean, we're still playing an RTS game, so you still have to be clicking and doing things frantically, making sure your units are doing stuff. I'm not saying, like, you know, take a deep breath and feel content. I'm just saying that you don't have to be aggressive right now. If you can consolidate your position onto mid and west VPs. Oh, so got some mines here.
Enemy causing trouble, trying to take one of our points.
What is this guy doing? It's like he knows. All right, there we go. The mines do hit. But yeah. So I'm just saying, yeah. Depope Co right now has a big cat, has a lovely composition, doesn't want to overextend, can just cement control over mid and East VP here, and kind of feel okay and make the game about attacking West VP, I think. Okay, so what is this? This is the light artillery barrage coming in here from the mechanized assault commander. Tiger tank comes for a poke here, finds out where the British units mostly are, takes a load of hits from the 2 quarter-pounders here, but only 1 penetrates, so gets out looking pretty smart there. Royal Engineers have now been rebought, and Ulamuli needs to save basically everything they have for the Firefly, which... It only costs 145 fuel now. Holy spoons, that has had a buff, right? I remember they used to cost like 150 or more. I mean, this probably, my information's way out of date, but there we go. It's been a long time since I've checked the cost on a Sherman Firefly. So yeah, we're definitely in a world where if he didn't have to rebuy those Royal Engineers, he could have had a Firefly on the queue already. Oh, opportunity here to get a very tasty squad. But there's just no damage here to find the kill, and the Panzer Grenadiers do sneak away. And this is just a lovely setup now for De Pope. Like, your opponent has to come into you. Your opponent must challenge for control of one of these VPs, and yet they're coming into the teeth of a Tiger tank and a lot of determined Axis infantry. Although, having said that, this Axis infantry roster has been thinned out substantially. This is not that stiff of a resistance, actually. Sorry, I thought that there was another MG at least. But looking up here, this is actually doable. This is a lot of Tommies with decent veterancy. There is a pyrotechnics package now, so we can see smoke and artillery coming in. Remember, this is now pyrotechnics package, got changed. You can now call in lovely tooltip. You can now call in this one, which is like off-map smoke for 25 munitions. That really does help when the game becomes about taking ground and victory points. So somehow, heroic Tommies taking east, heroic Tommies taking mid, heroic pioneers giving their lives. That is not a unit you want to lose either. Oh, we're gonna have a Panzerwerfer. Oh, this game just got spicy as UKF takes some of the. What the? Are you mad, son? He comes off the VP to take fuel. Bro, you've got enough fuel for whatever you want. Manpower is your limiting variable, and you're going to lose the game based on victory points. So I don't know about this decision, but okay, he prioritizes fuel over this VP. Now we're just losing time. I don't know. Every ticket matters right now. You are going to be gasping for tickets. In any game that the British player wins from this position is probably going to... You know, every ticket here is material, and so opting to just get a little bit of extra fuel, I don't know. I don't think that that's the best of choices.
Capture point is being overrun.
What is this? Okay, that's a... Okay, I was going to say, there's a metal detector right here. That couldn't have been an Axis mine. Alright. So, here comes the Panzerwerfer. Oh, wow, he's bringing it out close. He wants to get a nice, accurate barrage in. Doesn't get scouted yet. It's going to send a chill down Ulamulu's spine when he hears this baby open up. Snappers under fire! Alright, he rumbles it forward, and there we go. And that is a miss. Not quite sure what he thought was there. That's unfortunate. I mean, the Panzerwerfer's characteristics as a rocket artillery unit are that the barrage is fast, intense, and relatively, for rocket artillery, accurate. But those qualities not particularly useful here because there was no real target. I mean, a couple of rockets splashed the building with an MG in, so not getting no value. But I think we had higher hopes for that opening barrage than what we saw there. A Stug E gonna bolster the vehicular regiments of De Pope, though. And I mean, could this be the straw that breaks this position? I mean, oh yikes! This is the kind of unit which is just going to constantly tax the UKF player, and is going to be very hard to punish. And I mean, this is a UKF player who cannot be, who must be saving manpower right now. You need a Firefly, or else you're never going to overcome the Tiger and take map control. So, the objective is map control. The obstacle is a Tiger tank, and so you kind of need the Firefly to beat the obstacle to achieve your objective. And this is actually getting that Firefly a little bit harder because it's taxing your manpower. Right, now we finally have the resources. We can click on the Firefly button. Let's click on the Firefly button. I'm clicking it for you. There it is. All right. What the? Did he just reinforce all of his squads instead of buying the Firefly? Ah, bro. Oh no, he reinforced his squads. Now we're like a minute away from Firefly again. You had to take the Firefly there, bro. I had to break it to you. That was your window to buy a Firefly and try to change the dynamic of this game. And now you're pushing that back. You've pushed it back another minute. And this is a game where time is going to be the determining factor, because you're being pushed out on victory points, which are a manifestation of time being your enemy. So I cannot agree with the choice there to delay the Firefly. I know you need to keep your infantry in the fight and fighting, but sometimes you have to make the sacrifice. Say, hey, you tell you what, we're just going to have to let the infantry wait to be reinforced for just a second here. Spread them out, put them in places where your opponent isn't going to Panzerwerf them for the 15 or 20 seconds it takes. Get that Firefly on the queue and actually make material progress towards changing the dynamic of this game, because clearly Ulimulu needs to change this dynamic. He is not in a good place right now. Oh, yikes. MG42 finding for fantastic value here. Panzerwerfer actually not ready with another barrage. I was going to say that looked like a lovely target. In fact, just behind, because players will always fall back infantry in response to the terrifying sound of a Panzerwerfer firing, so you put it like here and you get like some stuff. It's good. Or you wait until now, wait until they've had to fall back because of the MG, and then put the Werfer barrage like here, and then, you know. He's going for a Comet! Alright, take it all back. He's going for a Comet. I don't know what I'm talking about in this game anymore. People keep telling me the Comet is amazing, and it's like meta-defining, and it's like the good UKF tank that UKF are going for in most games. And I'm prepared to believe it. I've just not seen it. And Ulimulu clearly has faith in the Comet. And I want to see it. I want to see the Comet be good. I'm ready. I am in a state of anticipation. But he has 100 victory points. And, oh, he actually does have access to the air supremacy operation. That has always been some of the heaviest of Boom Boom. So, just remember that this one is available now to the UKF player. We've seen this one change games quite a few times. Let's put it that way. You know, you can put down the air supremacy operation on your opponent's fallback path and just, like, wipe out all their infantry. Oh, okay, we've got a Panzerwerfer barrage. That's another miss. I feel like he's using these barrages a little bit rashly. Just needs to calm down. Just remember that you want to go for guaranteed value, not speculative barrages at in this position. Alright, so the Comet comes out now, reveals itself. Oh, by the way, for those of you who don't know, I actually live in Somerset, or in Bristol, Somerset, around this area. The Comet driver, that accent, it's also the same guy who drives the Churchills. It's like that voice file package. That is the regional accent from where I live in England. And so every time a Comet or a Churchill is out on the field, or a Crocodile, it does make me smile a little bit, because that accent just sounds like farmers who I've met in my youth and like people who I meet in town sometimes. Like, it's a pretty thick countryside accent, so like, to be honest, because I live in the city, like not many people actually sound exactly like this, but like characters from throughout my history have like, just, this guy just reminds me of people I know. Let's put it that way. Alright, so here comes the air supremacy operation. Fatty amounts of Boom Boom coming down. He's in danger of hitting his own tanks here. Risky. Comes through with a massive breakthrough. The Cromwell substantially exposed. The Tiger is going to put that one to bed. The Comet here, what is it doing? Is it looking for the Stug E? Oh no, this looks super ill-advised. Now the Comet's in a terrible position. He's probably going to be able to put together the kill with the last shot here off of the Comet. No, Quarter Pounders have crept forward, and they are putting good damage on the Axis tanks. Okay, the Tiger tank, engine broken, down to about half health, has to take a moment here to repair. Can't really fight without the engine. Finds the Stug E, of course, with the Quarter Pounders, and takes middle of map, getting himself off the clock again at 78 tickets here. So Ulimulu, for all I just said about how much I don't like mortar pits, I think this is a small enough map that you can actually just build a mortar pit like, oh, actually your opponent has Panzerwerfer. Okay, forget it. Forgot about that. I was going to say, if there was no Panzerwerfer, this would be an okay time to put a mortar pit here and just tax your opponent, just make life a little bit annoying for them. Anyway, here comes the light artillery barrage, so finding one infantry model, it looks like, off of a MG42 squad. Meh. How have these commandos been doing? Only 7 kills, 2 stars of veterancy on them. Not the best, it's fair to say. Do you guys remember when these guys were like fresh in the game and they just killed anything that got near them? Like, it didn't, like, just 4, 5, 6-man squads, instant death. They would just be like, oh! Like, the DPS on commandos was so unreal. I mean, thank God it's not like that anymore, but I do sort of miss those days. Okay, so 3 squads of Panzer Grenadiers are we up to now? No, sorry, it's 2. My bad. My bad. Okay, so, I mean, I like it. I like Ulimulu's last phase of play. Using the air supremacy operation and taking back mid is fine. There is no machine gun on Overwatch here, though. So the Axis player... Okay, actually, sorry, the machine gun is here. It is on Overwatch, my bad. 3-star MG42 pins units super quick, but Panzer Grenadiers get round on the flank. He needs to fall this back or else the bundle grenade is going to hit. And the Panzerwerfer. Oh my god, he actually hits a Panzer Grenadier with the Panzerwerfer. Doesn't kill him. Jesus Christ, these guys are like swole.
Enemy causing trouble, trying to
He just took that rocket square, like lost like about a third of the health off of the unit, but he's just like, no, I'm fine. 1 foot in front of the other Kinder. Alright, so now Axis player is capping 2 of the VPs, which is going to put Ulimuli back on the bleed. Still has a Comet. A Comet's limited to 1? No. Cool. How much do they cost? Oof. That is the pyrotechnics package being used here to bring in some heavy boom boom from the Axis base. Sorry, the Allied base.
A capture point is being overrun.
British forces moving forwards here. What is that? Okay, they've just got some ridiculously heavy-looking shell animation on the 3-star quarter pounder there. It's like looks like some sort of high-velocity stuff.
Heavy armor ready to go. Our capture point. They're trying to take it.
Is Ulimulu doing this? I'm pretty sure Ulimulu has like substantially broken De Pope's composition here. I mean, there's still a Tiger, there's still barely enough core infantry, there's still 1 MG, there's still enough pioneers. Like, De Popeco is not out of this, but like increasingly Ulimulu is muscling around the map in a very sort of convincing fashion. Bundle grenade, not going to be enough. He's going to lose the Panzer Grenadiers. He can't lose the Panzer Grenadier. Yeah, okay. Core infantry wipes at this stage in the game will be decisive against this Wehrmacht player. Lovely Panzerwerfer barrage here. Finally, oh my god, but the scatter was terrible. Somehow everyone's fine. Wow, killed like 1 dude off of a pat gun. What the hell? Comet here going to police the Axis infantry away from the all-important victory point, and just, I mean, Ulimulu's still in this game. Look at the top right, look at the top left. I think Ulimulu has the nicer forces. What the hell is with these 3-star, this 3-star quarter pounder gun, man? Do they just get some kind of super heavy looking shell? I feel like I've not seen this animation. It's like some sort of massive white tracer like flare on it. Ooh, Comet here, possibly overextending. Wants to put some more damage in on the Tiger, even look for the Panzerwerfer. Things beginning to get uncomfortably compacted here for De Popeco. All of the Axis units basically literally all on the screen right now. So this is the extent of De Popeco's army and positioning right now. Not good, obviously. The map in UKF hands. The Tiger tank looking surprisingly impotent against triple AT gun Comet. I mean, the game's not over because Ulimulu can lose this very quickly by just losing control of the map, not, you know, even for not that long. And 1 good fight from De Popeco will achieve that. And this army still is able to do that. He still has core infantry, he still has support infantry, still has an MG, still has an AT gun, still has Tiger tank with Panzerwerfer. But this roster is not as intimidating as it was maybe 10 minutes ago or more. And, you know, increasingly we can feel the momentum shifting towards the UKF player. But, I mean, the UKF player is just on thin ice. 73 tickets is not many. You lose a fight, you lose control of 2 or more of the victory points for not even that long, and the game rapidly falls out of, just becomes unwinnable. Okay, so Panzerwerfer here, going for another barrage. This Panzerwerfer, man, not been great.
Enemy threatening a capture point.
I mean, it's okay to spend rocket artillery to get your opponent to have to move their infantry squads, but that is like the least possible amount of impact, right? Getting your opponent to move their infantry squads is inconveniencing them for a period of like 10 or so seconds and helping your next assault, which can be game-changing, but it is not the sort of rocket barrages that I'm sort of hungry to see. The ones where you get your opponent at their fallback point and wipe a load of squads, or you like bullseye and advance as it's coming in and wipe a load of infantry, or you know. Anyway, here comes the air supremacy operation again, coming on in here. Comet coming in at a lovely angle, actually. Catches the Tiger exposed, commits hard here. Bombing run, catches a lot of the Axis weapon teams. This Tiger now utterly stricken, but still trading very well. The Pat Gun is able to contribute to this fight. Still has line of sight on the Comet, which has to... Whoa, I'm getting some serious lag there, but has to GTFO. The Pat Gun looks for the final hit on the Comet and is going to find it. There ain't no way to save that. What? That is a lucky, lucky Comet.
Wireless intercept. They still have 300 points remaining.
Was it 3-star you get penetration? Oh, God. I feel like DePope there getting so unlucky not to finish that one off.
We're losing a capture point.
And he's lost his MG. He's lost his MG42, which in a game that's about controlling victory points is huge. That MG was... What the?
The enemy have knocked out a Comet tank.
So why was that Comet coming back in? Was that like a misclick or what? Maybe Ulumulu felt about as bad for DePope as I felt when that pack shell bounced off his Comet, and he was like, no, we deserve to be living in the timeline where that Comet's dead. So, I mean, he's going to rebuild a Comet, but he could have been on 2 Comets, and now he's going to be up against Tiger Panther. So, like, throwing the Comet back in there, like, what did I miss? Why do that? Because now I feel like actually this game is substantially in jeopardy. We're about to be living in a world where it's Comet versus Tiger Panther Panzerwerfer. You know, if DePope can just catch a break for 2 seconds here and like, get a semblance of a decent infantry, you know, roster on the go again, isn't Ulumulu, like, dead? Like, this is going to be very hard to do with a Vet 0 Comet against such reckless big cats. But we'll see. Very back and forth, this one. This has been an interesting game for sure. And of course, bear in mind, you know, Support Armor Corps has been finished for some time, which means that the Wehrmacht player is enjoying extra manpower because he's not paying as much as he would for reinforcing his infantry, and is enjoying extra cap speed, which in a game that's about this kind of thing is very important. Here comes the rocket artillery once again. Kind of just doing a whole load of nothing. Once again, I mean, gets 2 models off of an MG squad. Sure, nice. So, okay, Panther tank reveals itself. Going to get right round the back of these quarter-pounder AT guns. That's a problem. But tank buster grenade connects. That's going to break the engine. So this Panther now looking a little bit foolish, a little bit sheepish, showing off its rear armor. The quarter-pounders are going to turn. They want to get some damage in on this one, and who can blame them? Boosh! There we go. And he's going to get another shot in here. Those 3-star guns tend to fire quite quickly. No, Panzer Grenadiers force the guns to have to move. Actually, no, he picks them up to stalk. Now the Tiger comes in. Comet commits as well. Panther is just not going to be an option in this fight. The Tiger gets hit by so many AT guns. That Tiger, basically as fast as a Tiger can die, that Tiger died. What? Oh my god. That Tiger just got rinsed. And the way Tiger tanks work now, so it's now 3 minutes from the time that that Tiger dies till he can call in another. Now, I appreciate he doesn't actually have the money, but I'm just saying this is the way heavy vehicle call-ins work now. The cooldown is 3 minutes from when the tank dies. Bye-bye. Is that game? There, this game. Wow. Ulumulu putting on a masterclass of UKF tenacity and durability in this game. Actually, you know what? I'm not even going to say masterclass because this game was messy on both sides, but often in RTS, the best games are those where neither player plays perfectly. Because when players make mistakes, well, that throws the game into interesting positions, and those are inherently tense and interesting to watch. So, yeah, neither player playing flawlessly, far from in this game, but both of them playing really well, putting on a very interesting display for us here. I mean, DePope is actually not leaving the game. I mean, he still has 257 tickets, but you are beaten, sir. There is no way for you in this game. Right? I mean, what's he going to do? Am I wrong about this? That Panzerwerfer is as good as dead. As soon as this Comet feels like driving down there. Yeah, now he's going to drive it down there. I mean, if he uses the airborne recon operation... sorry, this one. I mean, he probably just thinks that there might be a pack gun or two, or, you know, He probably just, if he could see, if Ulamulu could see, as we can see, the units that are alive here in the top left, I feel like this comet would be in the base, destroying face.
Enemy threatening a capture point.
Okay, so yeah, there's going to be 2 comet here. So, I mean, I don't usually do this, but this game is basically over, so I'm just going to fast forward a little bit.
It's looking a bit squiffy. Line's been cut. Over here.
Alright. Yeah, okay.
A capture point is being overrun.
Can't see anything happening there. Okay, there we go. Yeah, Debotco leaves the game. Alright. Alrighty then. Well, I mean, I feel for Depotco. We cast 2 games from Depotco, which were both defeats. That's just unfortunate. I'm sure Depotco wins as many games, if not more, than they lose. But this one was a 43, as near as makes no difference, 44-minute banger here. We got to see a lot of pyrotechnics, a lot of fireworks, a lot of lesser used abilities. It's been a hot minute since I've seen Smoke Raid Operation, Assault, Air Supremacy Operation. I don't know that we saw more to cover in this game. But yeah, anyway, those abilities, yeah, hardly ever see them. We saw the Commando Glider insertion. We saw Commandos survive an entire game and get to 3 stars of veterancy. We saw 3 Comets this game, which, you know, I'm aware everyone's telling me that they're the meta unit for Brits right now, and frankly, I'm starting to see why. But I haven't seen a lot of Comets for a while, so that's still great for me. We saw Panzerwerfer, we saw Tiger Panther. You know, this game had a lot of cool stuff. And I have to say, Ulamulu felt like they were firmly the dog. Like, I really thought that this one was over. But Ulamulu executing the sort of stabilize and then take over the game sort of game plan with UKF very nicely. And as I said, you know, neither player played this one perfectly. Plenty of mistakes, but that made the game really interesting to watch. And these are clearly very good players. And even the very best of RTS players, they still do make mistakes. I mean, nobody makes no mistakes, literally nobody, when playing RTS. So yeah, that's pretty cool. So I feel pretty glad that we managed to get this one in on the cast there. That's a really nice one. Obviously I'm still in lockdown, so stay tuned to the channel for more videos coming soon. You know, I'm gonna keep trying to stream, but I'm having a lot of trouble with my streaming hardware. I'm getting like a lot of lag and a lot of like distortion on the videos and things, so I'm just ironing out kinks in that setup. There's going to come a time probably in the next year where I just buy a completely new setup, like new PC, new everything. So I don't know, to some extent I think I'm sort of holding on for that in a way, but we'll see. But yeah, still in lockdown, so probably going to be casting some this week. Thank you very much for watching, and this for now, Magpie842 signing out.